fewer than 4 days until the midterm election, and one of the most important jobs in the state is at play. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson has defended Michigan's 2020 election results and now goes up against an election denier in Kristina Karamo. Christy McDonald looks at where the candidates stand on the key issues they'd face as Michigan's next Secretary of State.
Democrat Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson and her challenger, Republican Kristina Karamo, both attract national attention. Benson for her vigorous defense of the 2020 election results in Michigan.
We do run our elections really well in Michigan. We have had smooth, secure, and highly accessible elections for many years, including in 2020.
Karamo for her unfounded allegations of election fraud in that same year.
2020, like many people, I saw something illegal, and I'm determined to do something about it because the reality is protecting our voting rights is not a partisan issue. It's an American issue.
Karamo, a community college educator, burst on the political scene after she served as an election challenger in 2020. She claimed and fed into unproven theories that the election was stolen from President Trump. We offered Benson and Karamo both a chance to come and sit one-on-one and answer some of the same questions and talk about their philosophy surrounding the job of Secretary of State. Benson's campaign agreed. Karamo's campaign would only make her available for a live interview on the air. In the interest of fairness, we can't afford that to all candidates, so we had to decline. Benson is campaigning on her 4-year record of elections and moving Secretary of State processes online during the pandemic, which she acknowledges had some growing pains.
We saw that 50% of people visiting our branches when I took office didn't have to be in a branch at all, could do some of the services online. So all told, we doubled the number of transactions that happen out of branch offices.
You have also tried to regulate from your office a few things in place for elections, like banning open carry of firearms in polling places, and recently tried to regulate behavior of election challengers, and that was struck down. You're appealing that. Explain why you thought it was important to do that. Others might say, your opponent would say, that it's an overreach.
I have a responsibility as the chief election officer of the state to protect every election worker and protect every poll worker and protect every voter and ensure that first and foremost voters have free and fair access to their right to elect candidates.
While Benson is preparing for the 2022 midterms with clerks around the state, Karamo recently filed a lawsuit to require Detroit residents to vote in person, among other provisions that conflict with Michigan's Constitution. Karamo's campaign site says she wants to concentrate on protecting election integrity if she gets the job.
Make sure we have an accurate voter registration database. That will be my #1 priority.
The last days of campaigning will be watched around the country. Karamo is one of several Trump-supported candidates in the U.S. now trying to become chief election officers of their states. I'm Christy McDonald, Local 4.
Thank you, Christy. And everything you need to prepare for Election Day is in our clickondetroit.com voter guide. It has information on the local races, ballot proposals, and much more. You can find it on the elections page.